Can I give you a real shocker? Spoiler, in fact. But who's going down next season? Brighton and Hove Albion.
Brighton's a great shout, mate.
I think Brighton.
Honestly.
Well,
Don't
Brighton
nick
and
that
Brentford,
now.
Get Brentford out.
two model Premier League clubs.
And
that
Forest,
have done
well,
everything
he's
the right
stinking
way.
his
I
league
like
out,
Forest, man. I like Forest.
Brighton have, out of all, they've been up 5-6 years. 3 of the 4 of them, they've had wobbles, real wobbles, where they were close to getting relegated with Chris Hughton, with Graham Potter. They did.
I think it's unsustainable. You know this thing that they do where they like constantly lose a player and constantly find a better player.
Yeah.
Lose
Hard to do
Basuma,
that.
lose Basuma, bring in Caicedo. Lose Cucurella, bring in Estepinian.
Lose Potter bringing his hard.
It's unsustainable, man. And what people need to remember with regards to Brighton is they are the most insignificant team to have ever played in the Premier League.
You know, Brighton are a great example of a football club. I'm not a Brighton fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I can admire what Brighton have done in their, Premier League history since they've been promoted into the league. Tony Bloom has done a fantastic job. But I wonder sometimes with these, content creators or pundits or journalists when they've seen the history with Brighton the last couple of seasons. It doesn't matter whether they lose Ben White, they lose Cucurella, they lose Caicedo, they lose Bissouma, they lose Dan Burn, whatever player, McAllister, they will always find a gem. Now, could you say it's unsustainable? Perhaps. Maybe in 10 years, 20 years' time, it won't work anymore. But clearly, with the evidence we have had in the last couple of years, it works. And we're going to look at the transfers they have made this summer because Brighton are going big. And I love that about this Brighton side. And I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Are Brighton now sort of changing their mold? Or is this now the summer where they say, okay, we got to really heavily recruit on getting some big names and getting some players that we can develop even more and even more. And I'm telling you right now, some of the players they signed are ballers. Let's look at the list here. This is going to be Brighton's, maybe their final list of transfers. Mats Wiefer, what a player. How they signed him from Feyenoord. What he did with Arne Slot, winning the Eredivisie, making it to a Conference League final. Mats Wiefer is a baller, controlling the midfield, very good passing. I think he gave an assist to, Danny Welbeck on the weekend against Everton. So that is a fantastic pickup. 30 million? Brighton, take a bow for that. Now, if they could secure Kadioglu from Fenerbahce, and we still don't know if that's going to happen or not, I think that's a great sign. He's such a versatile player. He's played as a forward when he was growing up, left back, right back, can play anywhere. And that's, I think, the sort of players that Brighton like as well. They like very versatile players. I think Kadioglu would be a sensational signing. Yeah, okay, maybe you could say it's because of the Euros and how he performed there. I think if you watch Fenerbahce last couple of seasons, he's a really good player. I think that would be a solid signing. Ruter, now that's a bit of like, all right, we're going to go big on this guy because we really believe in the talent. Now, if you look at his stats from Leeds United, not a lot of goals, very versatile, good hold-up play, good link-up play. I would worry about that signing because 47 million for Brighton is quite a lot of money. But I feel like they could develop him into a pure goal scorer. And they have so many strikers. Ferguson, Welbeck, and now Ruter, João Pedro as well. Goddamn. How many? They could easily, Brighton could easily have a B team and an A team. And might as well just build a C team while you're at it, Brighton. And then the next player is Brian Gruda from Mainz. A good player, young player. Haven't seen a lot of him, so I can't give you a very good in-depth analysis. But reading reports, he's a very highly talented footballer. But my favorite player is by far Yakumba Minte. Brighton have absolutely stolen this player. This guy should be playing for Liverpool, even Chelsea. He would start for Chelsea. Actually, no. I'm going to still Cole Palmer would start ahead of Minte. But Minte is going to be a problem. And I've seen him play for Feyenoord. Saw him play a little bit in Denmark. Saw him play in the AFCON. Seen him play for Gambia. The guy is a sensational footballer. He can take you out on the outside, cut on his left foot. Very good. Gives you assists, goals. He's only 19. Brighton are going to demand in 2 to 3 years 100 million for him. Watch, you'll see. He is so good. And he got an assist to Mitoma. You have Mitoma, Minte, Gruda. Who else? Sarmiento. There is so many options down the wings for Brighton. And securing Minte, wonderful. Ibrahim Osman from Nordjylland, good player, and obviously now he's out on loan to Feyenoord to get some good game time, and then comes to Brighton, ready to transform into the first team. And then the other player, Kostir Dewberry from Arsenal, and now Malik Jr. I have not seen him at all. He's coming obviously from the Allsvenskan in Sweden. I haven't seen him at all, but I would trust Brighton in this sense. So with these guys saying, "Oh, this is unsustainable," they could be in a relegation fight. I really do wonder: do people watch football? Do they actually study it? Do they study these players outside of the Premier League? Hey, look, if you only watch the Premier League, that's on you. But if you don't know what you're talking about, and I think that video may have been before the transfer window, and I could be taken out of context, but even if it's out of context, right, and it's before the season, before the transfer window, why don't you trust Brighton with recruiting? Why? And they're going to spend 200 million. When has Brighton ever spent 200 million? When? They didn't do it for... I think Estupinian was 18 million. Undav, I can't remember how much he was. And they sold Undav for that much. Pascal Gross left the club. I just love Brighton. They have such a good philosophy on their recruiting, playing style. We're going to have to see how Fabian does. He's a very, very young manager. He's younger than James Milner. That's how crazy it is. And I really admire that they keep sticking to this philosophy. We're going to find those gems like a Minte, like a Gruda, like a Mats Wiffer, and we're going to just develop them into serious, serious ballers. And every player that transfers away from Brighton goes to Arsenal, whether it's to Chelsea, whether it's to Liverpool, wherever, they turn out to be pretty good. So Brighton clearly have the perfect DNA on recruiting, and every club should admire it. This is not a Nottingham Forest who are just spending money with their stupid Greek owner who doesn't really know what he's doing. They have a philosophy. Tony Bloom is one of the best owners in football. And this season, with no European football, with a team that they could have an A team or a B team, I think Brighton could easily get into European football. I honestly think so. Now, watching Sampaoli last season, I think I watched 2 or 3 games of them. Very progressive football. We've seen that with Brighton the last couple of years with Potter, De Zerbi, and now obviously Fabian. I can't pronounce his last name, sorry. It's basically what Brighton want to be molded into as a football club. And I can highly respect that. And with these signings, I'm telling you right now, Minte, he's going to be such a serious problem. What did they win? 3-0 over Everton. Yeah, Everton got the red card. They're going to give a headache to every single team. And I like that the problem for Fabian is you cannot play that sort of style maybe against the Chelsea, against the Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. He's going to have some headaches and he's going to get some growing pains during this season. But that will help him and help his players turn into a better side. And every department. The only weakness I could probably see in Brighton would maybe be the center backs. But that's not a horrific issue. But no doubt, once again this summer, Brighton have done excellent business. And every club, if you don't have that big status as a football club where you haven't won many league titles or a Champions League or Europa League or any sort of cup titles, look at what Brighton do. Just find the right players, fit it into your club, and you will be a good, sustainable club. And this is sustainable. Unlike what Rory Jennings says, that he's saying it's unsustainable, I think it's very sustainable. And Brighton will keep on doing this year on and year out. And I think they're going to finish 7th or 8th this season and get European football. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, people, because some people like Brighton's model, some people don't. I admire it. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Where do you think they will finish this year? Don't just base it on one game. Base it on the manager and the players they've recruited and the players they still have at the club. And remember to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And remember to follow me on all the socials. Link to those in the description down below. Adios, everybody.